Alright folks, it's a new day. We've got a new experiment. And I've never seen anyone else do this quite this exact same thing, but it's a variation of these pit methods where we put stuff in a hole. We dig a hole and put stuff in a hole, but what I'm putting in a hole this time is different. Alright, so I've kind of got my row of productive chaos, and then this is where I'm digging my hole right here, and then the row continues because I had some corn that didn't do well right here, so I just dug it all out, and I'm digging less than a foot down, and it's almost like a little trench. It's a elongated hole, and so I'm going the width of this row here, and then we're going to fill it with our experimental material. Yummy. What is this stuff? Alright, well, this is wood chips and some wood shavings from my sawmilling, and urine. Is completely saturated in my very own urine. And so what's going on here is we're taking the concept of combining carbon and nitrogen to produce really rich soil. This is the same idea that people use to make compost. I'm just utilizing it pretty much immediately, or much quicker. This has been sitting here for, I don't know, a couple weeks at most. Not intentionally, it's just I didn't get around to it. So we're gonna take this, oh man, it's heavy. That is saturated. Ugh, this is really heavy. Yo, that did not smell good. Ugh. One man's toxic sludge is another man's potpourri. Alright, so there it is. And what's interesting is the wood chips like turned red underneath the surface, which I don't know if that's supposed to happen or what, but these were definitely like very yellow wood chips. This looks like that red mulch, cypress mulch that you buy for way too much at the store. But yeah, it smells bad. Flies are starting to gather, so let's cover this up. Yeah. And this dark soil, this was there's a worm there. And I found a potato, so we'll keep the potato in there, I guess. But this dark soil was all brought in. This was compost that I purchased, and honestly it wasn't great. I don't really think it helped all that much, but whatever. It looks better than sand though. And I don't know, it sticks together and maybe it holds water better than sand, but I don't really know. Alright folks, here's what I'm doing as far as planting that spot is I got a bunch of different stuff, and I'm putting it in this little jar. We're going to mix it around and basically dig little trenches through the area and then bury seed in there. So when I plant little delicate seeds like this, I'll just make like a little trench and then sprinkle seed in the trench and then cover it over with the soil that's built up on the side. Alright, so here's my little container of seeds, and what I do is I just grab a pinch of it and then I just sprinkle them in these little rows here. So bada bing. And remember, if you're not good at gardening, then plant lots of seeds. If you don't know what you're doing, plant lots and lots of seeds. And so that's what I do, because I mean, I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I try not to assume that I really have everything figured out, because I really don't. And so a lot of times these plants will surprise you, and you'll do things that you weren't really supposed to do, and then crazy things happen. So I've got these rows filled up pretty good, so the rest of this is just going to get kind of shook over the area. And this is all seed that I got for free pretty much, so, or that I collected, so I'm not too worried about it. And then we're just gonna kind of just go over here like this and cover it over. And you're not going to get every single seed, but guess what? That's okay if you don't bury every single seed, because, well, at the end of the day, every single seed isn't going to make it anyway. So we're just going to kind of try and do our best to mix this stuff in, and then yeah, and then I'm going to water all this in. And yeah, some of the seeds are exposed. You see big stuff like that squash that you really want, you know, poke that in or whatever, but at the end of the day, you really don't need to micromanage it too much. All right, so now it's time to water it in. So let's turn on the well, and that's beautiful. All right, so I'll let that go for maybe, I don't know, 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes. Depends if I forget or not. But where we planted is right in there in the garden. And this is, of course, is gonna water the whole garden, but it'll water us, that little patch, in pretty good. And I have my rain gauge here, so I know how much I water my plants. If it's like a, you know, a ½ inch rain or whatever, and usually I go for 1/4 to ½ inch of irrigation. Whenever I do irrigate, it hasn't rained last couple days, but it may rain today, but you never know. So I'll just go ahead and water that in, so I don't have to worry about it or think about it, and that'll just help get a germination rolling. Oh no, I did something stupid. I forgot to plant my corn, because I've got just barely enough time. Actually, I'm stretching a little bit. I got my corn experiment I'm playing with, but I totally forgot to plant it. So and the bag got all wet. Not a big deal. I'll wipe it off on my shirt. But yeah, when you do stuff that requires no attention to detail, oftentimes you exercise no attention to detail. All right, so this is my corn breeding project that I'm working on. I just took a bunch of different types of corn, and I'm letting them cross pollinate, and so I can get what's called a land race, so which is something that's just basically developed in a specific location. So yeah, there we go. Maybe I'll stick a few right here on the edges, and yeah, that'll be good. So now I just got to poke all those corn seeds into the ground, and this was something inspired by David the Good, so I'm just kind of doing my own experiment in my own environment. I don't like bending over too much, so I end up just using a stick. It's sometimes easier just to poke stuff in with a stick. So basically what I do is, you know, you can never poke the actual seed, so you just poke right next to it, and it usually will fall into a little hole like that. So that's how I do it. That's the simple way. Sometimes you're not quite close enough, and you just gotta, you know, convince it to go in. So this is pretty exciting, I know, huh? Oh, I'm planting a little plant with that one. Alright, we're all done, and you don't have to fill in your holes, because when you water it, the holes will get filled in. Maybe just check, once you're done watering or whatever, just check and see, make sure that they're filled in, but otherwise they'll naturally cave in. Alright, take 2 on watering stuff in. Yeah, that's funny. Can't believe I forgot that. Hey guys, so thanks for joining me on this experiment where we took urine-soaked wood chips, buried them in a little trench, and planted on top of them. And we are going to see what happens. And then, of course, we can never just do one experiment. We have to stack experiments because we're unscientific. But also just took a wide variety of different seeds, things that will grow through this winter that are cold hardy, and some things that aren't, because I don't know if we will get a frost in December. If we don't get a frost in December, I'm likely to get produce from a lot of this stuff. So last year we didn't get any frost until the new year, and so I'm expecting that all the corn and the squash and whatever else I planted, I don't remember, that we'll get some fruit from it, because right now it's mid-August, August 16th, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, you guys have fun with your own experiments. Make sure you actually do something. Don't just watch these videos, but watch them and then do something. Don't click on the next video. There's no next video. If there's more information you need, go to my channel and just, you know, skim through, look at stuff that's interesting, but don't just sit there and watch everything. You know, go do something. Put a sweet potato in the ground. That's what I always recommend. So have a great day, guys. Bye.